Welcome back to Any-Bit Fever Dreams. This time, it's going to be a simple video of how to open up your F256K case from Phoenix Retro Systems. You don't need many tools, it's fairly easy. Depending on your needs, you don't need to do every step every time. Here's a list of the reasons why I've had to open up my machine so far in the 9 months I've owned the F256K. Some are related to upgrades and improvements, and some are related to minor repair work. I've personally used this fairly simple toolkit from iFixit. I'm not affiliated with them, I simply had that kit because of other vintage computer repair work. You'll be needing 3 different bits for this task. A regular Phillips size 1 just for a single screw in the back, a Torx security size 8 for most of the board screws and case screws, and a Torx security size 10 for 2 special screws associated with the cartridge socket. Before you start all of this, make sure you remove your SD memory card from its socket. Install the first Torx security size 8 first. You'll have to unscrew all 4 corners of the bottom of the case. They are underneath some round gel feed pads. And that's all you need to do to access the top of the motherboard. The integrated keyboard flexible cable is quite long. It's unlikely you'll damage it when you remove the top cover. If you want to get it out of the way, use both hands and slowly rock the end of the cable back and forth. It'll come out with little work. At this stage, you can already do significant changes and upgrades. It's a good time to possibly add a CR2032 coin cell battery because that'll be required by some programs that care about real-time clock features. You can imagine a future OS that would display and keep the proper date. Another thing you can do at this point is swap the CPU entirely if you have replacements on hand. That's right, one of the key features of this precious computer is that it can casually go from one CPU to another using the same socket. It uses 40 pins dual inline packages. The choices are the modern-day Western Design Center 65CO2 for the classic 8-bit experience, or its younger brother, the 65C816 for the 16-bit addressing modes. That last one is still able to deal with 6502 instructions with its back compatibility emulation mode that's active by default. Most users will be attracted to the second one because you're not locked out of anything, while die-hard nostalgics will go for the first one at this point. And last but not least, you have a third choice, the impressive 6809, which comes inside the FPGA sitting on its own mini board that plugs into the exact same socket as the others. All 3 options can be purchased when you get a unit. All of these options are also available for the F256 Junior. The only thing you need to do is to reprogram the FPGA if you want to dive into the 6809 world, and program it again if you want to go back to the other 2. For the following upgrades, you'll have to reach the next stage and free the entire main board from under. This is necessary if you want to replace the mono audio socket for a stereo one. I have a pending video for that. You'd only ever want to do this if you have a year 1 unit before a certain point in early January of 2024, and it concerns only this port. The RCA jacks are fine and can give you stereo. I'll explain much more in my pending video, which will be linked in the description when it's out. You also have to get under if you want to install a Feather module to gain Wi-Fi access, and you can find a video of that upgrade in my channel. I'll link to it. Keeping your TR-8-bit still inserted, go ahead and remove the 3 corner screws, the one near the SD card socket, the one near the silk screen Phoenix logo, and finally the one near the main FPGA. The next two screws require you to switch to the bigger Torx Security size 10 heads. Get them out from under the case. They tie the cartridge port walls to the bottom half of the whole computer shell. Finally, you remove the last screw with a Phillips head, and it's used to secure the 3D printed back port panel to the RCA jack structure. Of course, you'll have to deal with 2 port screws for the DB9 serial socket, the 2 port screws for the DVI socket, and then, and only then, can you deal with the lone Phillips type screw. With this out of the way, you can finally access the underside of the main board by getting it completely out. So there you have it. I do hope you found this video helpful. Stay tuned for more how-to videos focused on the F256K mainly, but also often applying to the F256 Junior. They'll form up in a special playlist on my channel. Take care and see you in the next one.